How many times have you thought about starting a family? Do you ever want to start a family? Maybe you fear protection not working out, or your baby having to live a difficult life due to a disability. Even having to relive the trauma of how you became pregnant if that was sexual assault. Imagine waking up every day for 9 months and looking down and seeing a reminder of what had happened to you. Serious complications and deaths are uncommon in areas where abortion is safe and legal. The rate is 0.6 per 100,000 abortions. Abortions that are provided unsafely, on the other hand, account for 13% of all maternal deaths. That leaves only 87% of illegal abortions not ending in death, but that does not account for other casualties. Although Fossey believed abortion does not harm the fetus or embryo or maternal parent unless given illegally, which is why I believe it is important to keep it legal. I'm credible in this topic because I picked scholarly sources in which I will cite when I quote them in my speech. Today I will be further informing you about the controversy revolving abortion and the dilemmas of women who choose to get one, and hear pro-life activists telling them that they're harming their baby. Trigger warning, sexual assault. Okay, every 68 seconds an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes that victim is a child. Imagine if you were that victim. Now imagine being a woman who becomes pregnant due to the negligence of the assaulter. RAINN statistics, and I quote, says, a majority of children are 12 to 17. Of those victims under the age of 18, 34% of victims of sexual assault and rape are underage. Of 12, which is 66%. Not many reasons account for these. Okay, which is not wanting to reveal your life due to having a baby, an unplanned one. Having to heal from the assault, like I said, waking up every day for 9 months and seeing a visualization of what happened to you. And another one is, sadly, incest. 12% of sexual assaults occur at or near a relative's home, which is why it might be hard for people who are dealing with this and realizing that their baby could have an abnormality because it was due to incest. Okay, I have just informed you as the reasons as to why a victim of assault would like to choose to not have their perpetrator's child. Now let's take a look at the shortage of physicians. In multiple abortion laws and public health policies, it is stated that only doctors can perform abortions. Obstacle Course, University of California Press 2020 tells us how this is a feature that provides a roadblock to some mothers, as some countries have a shortage of doctors trained or willing to perform abortions. With untrained doctors, this leads mothers to doing illegal abortions. This is where the 13% of maternal deaths comes into play. Training more doctors in countries where there is a shortage of physicians able to perform an abortion is key to decreasing maternal deaths. This can be changed with more coverage on healthcare policy / abortion laws, such as training more doctors. The NIH, National Institute of Health, states that, quote, a 1986 study found that 66% of gynecologists would not perform abortions. A National Abortion Federation study found that only 50% of training programs in medical schools offer abortion training. Furthermore, the majority of these are optional, so great doctors are leaving medical school with no training in abortion. Currently, in 83% of the counties in the U.S., there are no abortion providers. 83% is a lot. Women may still be able to get abortions, but there is no constitutional guarantee that they will be able to get one. We now see that mothers wishing to terminate, although with the right to get one, there aren't laws or healthcare policies guaranteeing that they will get one, which will leave them resorting to life-risking procedures. But what other barriers are there? There are plenty of influential ultra-conservative organizations and leaders around the world who encourage women to give birth to as many children as they physically can. In the perspective of society, childbirth is the peak of female achievement. Al Jazeera, why pro-life activists won't protect women during childbirth 2020 states that, quote, in the U.S., for example, conservative states moved quickly to ban abortions by classifying them as non-essential services. Last week, the Supreme Court upheld Trump's administration rules allowing employers to opt out of child, including birth control, in an employee's health care plan. Quote, pro-life activists stand together to ban abortion due to the belief that it harms the fetus and that they feel fetal pain. Journal of Medical Ethics 2020 explains that, quote, after inserting a needle into the fetus, they measured whether the fetus responded with hormonal responses, and they found that they did. This evidence, however, was not accepted as demonstrating pain because hormonal responses are too general. These changes, for example, will occur when having surgery under a general anesthetic, which is known to not experience pain. Therefore, the pain many believe to affect the embryo or fetus are psychological responses, such as when the patient goes under anesthesia. Once again, every 68 seconds an American is sexually assaulted, which could lead to impregnation. There's a shortage of doctors who are trained or willing to perform these procedures, which does not stop women from getting the procedure, however, leads them to getting risky, illegal ones. Unsafe and illegal abortions account for 13% of maternal deaths. The fetuses do not feel pain. Instead, they get psychological responses that many substitute for pain in their counter-arguments. Although falsely believed, abortion does not harm the embryo or maternal parent unless given illegally, which is why I believe it is important to keep abortion legal. Everyone is free to have their own opinions for their body, but I think it's important that everyone gets to choose for themselves. So, for example, if your religion prohibits you from getting an abortion, then you can choose to not do one for yourself, but it's important to let other people choose for their own bodies, which leads everyone to having freedom. And once again, lastly, it's important to separate church and state. Thank you.